Okay, so here's a quick day four update, and honestly, I'm getting into the vibe of this now. That quickly, day four, already back in the rhythm. I'm already in the rhythm. So just a little recap. When I started this language journey just a few days ago, going through my my flashcards kind of felt slow. I was like, oh, it's a little grinding. I wanted to be a little more fluid. So the first one run through took me forever to get through. It took like, you know, 2 days of 20 to 30 minutes per day to get through the deck one time. All right. So I made the cards, started using them. The pronunciation, your mouth is making new shapes that seem nonsensical to you. You're totally just like guessing on half of the meanings. That being said, the first time I got through the deck fully, as I told you prior, my success rate was already around 30% tops, right? Which ain't bad for first go around. But today, big difference. So I actually took my cards. I went for my morning run every day. As soon as I wake up, I get out of bed and I immediately go run. No phone, nothing. Which is another beautiful thing about the cards is that you're not having to use your phone first thing in the morning. Let's say ruining your circadian rhythm. So I took my cards with me on my morning run. I just stuck them in my little uh, fanny pack. And after the run, I went to the coffee shop right a little way up the street here. And while I was waiting for the coffee to be made, I started running through the deck. And, I kind of paused a couple times. I timed myself, though, because I wanted to be able to tell you guys exactly how much time I spent studying. I want to document the process as specifically as possible. So I even counted the number of cards that were in each pile. So I got through it in 20 minutes, maybe like 20 seconds over, give or take, but pretty much on the dot, 20 minutes. And of course, I paused the timer when I stopped and was chatting with the coffee shop owner. He's a really cool guy. So not only did I get through it a lot faster this time, 20 seconds, but I got 31 out of 48 cards right. That's about a 60% accuracy. And that's on phase one now, mind you. So, A, that's double what I had the first day I actually got through the deck, or perhaps the first 2 days. The first time, it might have been day two, day three. I don't remember exactly, but it actually felt fun today. I was having little wins the whole time, and my brain was starting to go, oh, wow, I'm recognizing like new little patterns of conjugations and the verbs and things like that and how everything was just working. You start to break down the mechanics naturally in your mind. That's the key here. You're not focusing on the conjugation and the past tense and the present and then the accusative and the dative case, whatever the jargon is. No freaking jargon. We're just rocking and we're rolling and we are moving. Like using the brain like when we were children, which was the most powerful learning experience of our entire lives. So the more you can harness that raw energy of the brain without all the adult bull crap, the better off you're going to be. So, for clarity, just to kind of reiterate phase one, so I was using the target language side, looking at that and remembering the translation and what it meant. Of course, also I was speaking it aloud and I was reading it at the same time. So I was reading, speaking, and listening because I was hearing myself speak. So you're knocking three things out of the park at once. Um, so yes, phase one. I'm still on the phase one right now. Uh, that is recognition, not production. Recognition is seeing something and recognizing it, of course. Production is the harder of the two phases, where you're actually pulling these things out of the ether and you're producing them. So you're saying things in a natural manner, which it is truly almost like a spiritual thing. It just happens. Like the human brain is so naturally taken to language learning that it is truly an instinct, and perhaps we can say it's like a spiritual thing because it's an intelligence beyond our own. Like children don't have the intelligence in their brain yet, but it's out there and they grab it. So it is an intelligence that is not our own. So yes, the one of the two phases is going well. Now the next step, of course, is to go through phase two again, either later today or maybe tomorrow or the next day. I'll start running through phase two, where I flip the card over, look at the English, and try to recall how to say and spell the phrase in the target language, right? I've done that once so far, and I had some success. Probably like 15, 20%, 10, 15% success of almost getting it right. There were little things about it that I got wrong, but like the words are starting to come out, which means I'm actually speaking the language immediately in very tiny little bite-sized pieces, like a baby might, like a baby learning its first language. So that's always the tougher part. Yeah, like I said, sometimes I get a little piece of the phrase. Sometimes I totally blank. Most of the time, right now, I totally blank. It's day 4. All right. So, but even remembering like a little chunk of it feels like you're moving forward, and indeed you are. And that's what I'm chasing right now: progress, not perfection. Progress. In fact, some of these sentences are going to come back later on in my learning experience, and I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, it's kind of like a goofy phrase. Like nobody really says it like this, but that's okay right now. I want like 80, 90% of them to be like very good, solid, usable sentences. And the other 10, 20%, yeah, they're a little silly, but that's okay because we're memorizing, we're learning structures and how the verbs work and all kinds of things. So now that I'm seeing these results, the next thing I'm planning for, and actually AI is helping me, ChatGPT in this specific case, has been giving me little tips of how to move it forward even more. I'm thinking in the next week or so. And that's how to work smarter and not harder, right? Using AI. And also the next step, which is going to be what is called spaced repetition. Spaced repetition. Now, you may have heard of that. It's a learning method where you space out how often you review things based on how well you know them. So these are things that you like when I'm making the two piles basically, and it's like this is the yes pile that I have memorized, and this is the no pile that like no. So soon I'll be splitting into three piles, as I mentioned, I believe on day 1 or day 2. So stuff that I totally blanked on, no clue, review it daily. Stuff I kind of got, I might start doing that every couple of days. And then stuff that I absolutely nailed, once a week tops, I'll go back to them. So I'll start moving towards those three piles. Now, when am I going to do that exactly? I don't know. I'm still kind of working a little bit on instinct, on the feeling that I get. But once I get to the other side, the production phase, phase 2 of the memorization process, I'm going to begin doing that immediately. I already have started doing the three piles a little bit now, but I'm still reviewing daily, even the stuff that I like feel pretty strongly about because it's so early in the process. And these are so new to me, and I have like no framework to go off of. So basically, the theory is, well, it's not just a theory, but what I will be doing is I will not be reviewing the same easy stuff over and over again and wasting time. Really, it's not about wasting time, but you will also kind of trigger your brain to turn off. I remember this from the past where if I was going over the really easy stuff over and over, it would trigger like a boredom, and I'd be like, eh. My brain is like, well, I don't have to work now, so I can deactivate and think about the weather or that cute girl that I saw in the park or whatever. So the idea is that you are avoiding that. So, but this is the important part. I'm not trying to make it a rigid system yet. I'm just kind of layering it in naturally, bit by bit, letting it evolve. And then I'll have a more structured approach here in about 2 weeks. I'll be able to be more of a specialist, more of an expert on this. But right now, we're just moving. The concept is constant motion and not getting caught up in the little steps. Don't trip on the pebbles on the way to the forest with the beautiful trees. So, right, and I'm still getting used to phase two. Just beginning, just beginning phase two. Like much less working on the rhythm or routine or anything. Right now, guys, the routine, we just want to do 20 minutes a day. On a best case, even better would be 30 minutes a day. An hour, fantastic. I would say if you're like, all right, hey, I'm willing and able and driven to do an hour a day, well then split it into 3 20 minute sessions. Morning, evening, morning, afternoon, evening, something like that. So yeah, that is the day four progress. So accuracy is up quickly, doubled it in a day or so. And I'm starting to feel the gears like starting to turn in a really good way. So every time I'm studying, I remember more, faster, and easier. And that's a good feeling. It's exciting. It's exciting. When I wake up in the morning, I'm like, yeah, it's really funny how that works. Like normally studying is like, oh God, I don't want to do that. But I'm actually driven to do so. Something I noticed as well is that while in the process of waking up and in the process of going to sleep, when my eyes were closed and I was in that like half sleep state, I was actually drawing out the characters in my brain and spelling things and like uh pronouncing them. So it's even gotten to where in my dream state, I'm beginning to study and like, oh, these two letters together, oh yeah, they make this sound. This letter makes that sound. Oh, but these two letters after that other letter, they make a different sound. And that's just happening naturally. I'm not even like annoyingly studying that. Like they might teach you in a class like, oh yeah, let's learn the alphabet, let's learn the vowels, let's learn the diphthongs. Like don't, that's horrible and it's boring, and it will slow you down. It will slow you down and make you feel powerless. So if you've experimented with spaced repetition in the past in some other studying format or language learning, whatever, or have your own way of flashcard of organizing flashcards, let me know. I'd love to hear what you're doing and what you've done in the past. So let me know in the comments below if you have some sort of technique that you've used that I should try out, because I will definitely try your method soon. Um, because yeah, I'm just trying out everything right now, just pushing 1% more every day. Although actually 1% better every day is looking more like 30% better every day, which is almost superhuman. And I'm not tooting my own horn by saying that. I'm saying you can do this. You can do this now. On day four, you can have a 100% increase on your memorization and your recall from the prior day or 2 days before. You can begin on your first day of running through your flashcards. You can have a 30% win rate off the bat as a novice. So that's exciting. This is possible. You can do this. And hopefully the information that I'm giving you here will empower you to do that, will enable you and give you at least a basic framework to start moving forward without all the apps and worrying about the alphabets and the ABCs and the one, two, threes. Just get started, move now. So, anyway, thank you for watching. I'm going to get back to doing, not back to studying because I've already done that for the day, or at least the morning 20 minutes. It's pretty easy, right? Now I actually have some like regular people work to do because this is not my life. That's the important thing. This is not necessarily your life. You have other stuff going on. You might have kids, you got dogs, you got a job to go to. So being able to fit this in a 20-minute period every day, that's great, especially while riding the bus, while waiting for your coffee, while you ordered your food and you're waiting for it to arrive. You got a couple minutes, even if it's 5 minutes, you can start going through your cards and start immediately working. So, and those moments where you would normally be scrolling and just doing mindless crap, you can be making your life better. You could be moving yourself forward to your goals, be a smarter person. And I find here's another interesting part before I go. I'm finding that learning a fourth language is reinforcing my third language, and I feel more fluent in all of my languages. So all of my words, my thoughts are flowing more clearly now because I'm learning a new language. So it's like a rising tide lifts all boats. And that is the thought that I would like to leave you with for today. So thank you for watching. And again, comment below and let me know about your method or your way of organizing flashcards and memorization. Thank you for watching and listening, and have a great day.